And brought to you live via St. Louis, Missouri. This is Bombers Game Mic. I'm Paul D, and tonight is the first game of a 3-game weekend set at Busch Stadium between the visiting Colorado Rockies and the St. Louis Cardinals. And yesterday was the off day. Enjoyed it very much. I hope you did as well. And of course, thank you all so much for spending part of your Friday night here with me on Game Mic. It was a 500 road trip that ended the best way possible, which was taking 2 of 3 at Yankee Stadium. And I think everyone here was rather pleased with that. At least most people, as far as I can tell. But with that said, join the Game Mic roll call. Let me know where y'all are watching or listening from tonight. We are about 6 minutes away from scheduled first pitch. I'm going to give you the starting 9 for both clubs, starting with the visiting Colorado Rockies. Leading off at DH is McCarthy. Batting second in center field is Gehrig. Batting third out in left field is Moniak. Batting cleanup at catcher is Goodman. Batting fifth at first base is Rumfield. Batting sixth at third base is Castro. Batting seventh at shortstop is Tovar. Batting eighth out in right field is Johnston. And batting ninth at second base is Julian. That's a starting 9 for the visiting Colorado Rockies. Now the starting 9 for the home St. Louis Cardinals. Leading off at second base, the NL rookie sensation, J.J. Weatherall. Batting second, back for the first time since Monday night, overcoming some knee inflammation. In right field is Jordan Alexander Walker. Batting third at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting cleanup at DH is Ivan Herrera. Batting fifth at catcher tonight is Jimmy Crooks. Batting sixth at shortstop is Mason Wynn. Batting seventh in center field is Nate Church. Batting eighth in left field is Brian Torres. And batting ninth at the hot corner is Cesar Prieto. Starting 9 for the Cardinals. Now, tonight, going for the St. Louis Cardinals has been a nice story. Which is to say, the 29-year-old right-hander, Kyle Leahy. 21 games this year, 7-4 with a 3.44 ERA and 107 1/3 innings pitched, 91 strikeouts and a whip of 1.33. In his last 6 starts, over I think a little over 17 innings pitched in that time, I believe, has an ERA of 1.45. That goes all the way back to his last start in June against Miami at Busch. He's 2-0 over that span. A good number of non-decisions, including his last start up in Toronto. But, hey, most of that ain't his fault. And that's the story there. And going for the Colorado Rockies tonight is the 29-year-old right-hander Ryan Feltner, who in 16 games this year is 4-5 with a 5.75 ERA and 76 2/3 innings pitched, 57 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.46. He had just about the worst month of July you can possibly have over 4 starts. An ERA over 9. They gave up something like 9 long balls in that time. He was 1-3. Not good. Not good. However, his most recent start against Kansas City went appreciably better. I think 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, and that is really actually quite an improvement compared to where he was. But with that being said, join the Game Mike roll call. Let me know where y'all are watching or listening from. It's Friday night, folks. All right. Leading off there in the chat is Philip. Nola, yakking for comment or any shade of thought on life, liberty, and the pursuit of wild card. What you think? I think there is quite a ways to go still in terms of pursuit of wild card, Philip. Dwayne Smith, kind of nice up here in Ithaca. I am sure it is. I am sure it is. Doge Bowl. Hey, Paul and all, let's get ready for some baseball. Like, share, subscribe. You know it. Justin Beasley on the score bug tonight. Good evening, chat. Please like the stream. Also subscribe. We would love to have you as part of our community. We are a fun bunch, so please join us. Absolutely. The Hodag. Good evening from Green Bay. And good evening to you, Hodag and Green Bay. M. Tudor. Let's go Cards. Cheers to that, M. Tudor. Eric Boyce. Well, rather, Alan. I don't want to miss this. Let's go. Season isn't over yet. Birthday Saturday tomorrow. And in advance, happy birthday, Alan. Which brings me to my next point as far as tomorrow, or else I would just tell you tomorrow, is there will not be a stream tomorrow. I'm heading out on the road, and I could not book a flight that didn't somehow interfere with the game call, and the travel had to come first. But I'll be back on Sunday afternoon, and all three against the Phillies and all that kind of fun stuff. Taking the field here is the St. Louis Cardinals. Kyle Leahy on the bump, 7-4 with a 3.44 ERA, 35 walks against 91 strikeouts, a 1.33 whip, and 21 starts as the right-hander. They're wearing their red City Connect tops with the white bottoms and the blood stripes down the side with the Lou birds on the bat, white letters and numbers, and the red ball caps with the block STL over the front, not interlocking. So we know what Leahy's been all about lately. Eric Boyce, howdy, Paul D. The fan, there might not know where is Lars Nootbaar because he went to a different team. True enough. Defensive lineman for the Cards. Torres in left. Church in center. Walker in right. Prieto at third. Wynn at short. Weatherald at second. Burleson at first. Jimmy Crooks is behind the dish and battery mate to Kyle Leahy, who's on the mound. J.M. Jones, good evening, all. Let's go Cardinals. You know it, J.M. Jones. All right, Billy Williams, bring us winners, Paul. Listening from Pensacola, Florida. I've been to Pensacola a number of times, Billy. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Hiya, everyone. Hiya, Harold. And stepping up to the plate is tonight's DH, McCarthy. Jake McCarthy, the left-hander, 355 at-bats, a 293 average, 11 home runs, 64 RBIs, 18 stolen bases, and 821 OPS. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Coming winds Leahy, the first pitch. Fouled straight back of the four-seam fastball upstairs, and we are underway. Colorado Cardinals, Game 1. Now, looking in is Leahy. Infield defense clearly shaded towards right with the lefty McCarthy. He comes wide, the 0-1. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Chuck Gaming. What's up, Paul? Just calling me some Cardinal baseball. What's up with you, Chuck? Now, the 1-1 pitch. A sweeper up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Hi, Paul and everybody. Hey, Jimmy. All righty. Now the 2-1. Hit to the right side and into right center field for a leadoff single off the bat of McCarthy. And the Rock, and he goes down towards second, takes advantage of Nate Church getting lackadaisical on that ball in the court, in the right center field portion of the field, and they have a leadoff double here. here in the top of the first inning. Oh, that was a strange play. You don't usually see that happen to Nate Church. It was perfectly equidistant between Jordan Walker and Nate Church. Church picks it up. He throws into second, but with the slide, feet first, is McCarthy. Beats the throw into second. Now, here is the switch hitting Carrig hitting left. Here's a pitch. He shows bunt, pulls back. Slider called strike down Broadway. The count is 0-1. Keeping me on my feet tonight. Cole Carrick's hitting .301, 5 home runs, 28 RBIs in 47 games, and 897 OPS. Coming set, the 0-1. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. No Saturday game, Harold. I'll be back on Sunday afternoon. Now, he comes set, does Leahy. He's from the stretch. Runner leads off second. The pitch. Fouled straight back to the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1-2. Heather. The thing we have learned about this Cardinal team is they play up to their competition and they also play down to it. The 1-2 pitch. A curveball down and in and out of the zone. The count is even at 2-2. The one thing you have to notice, though, about this Colorado lineup, and it's more than just Coors Field, is they have a lot of pop. So don't sleep on them there. The issue for them is mostly pitching. Now, come and sit at the Birds is Leahy, the 2-2. Check swing, foul ball on the changeup away. The count remains 2-2. That came in at 90 miles an hour. I guess the question is, Philip, what is the meaningful penance that he can serve? There is a runner on second with nobody out. Coming sets Leahy, the 2-2 to Carrig. Four-seam fastball up and away, ruled a ball. The count is 3-2. .411 Shirley, evening Edmonds. Washington here already. Coming set, the 3-2. Swinging strike three. Down, Hackett goes Carrig for the first out of the inning. Evening Edmonds, Washington here. Mariners / Cards fans. Church made one of the greatest catches ever. Here is Mickey Moniak. Hitting left-handed, righty-lefty matchup with one out. Runner leads off second. The pitch. Sweeper on the outer third above the knees. The count is 0-1. Hey, Corey, everyone's favorite Brewer fan here. Coming set at the Birds. The 0-1. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 0-2. So I don't know if anybody else saw this. I believe it was in the Phillies National Series earlier this week. It was at Citizens Bank. Get to that in a moment. Moniak hitting .278 on the year. Coming sets Leahy. It'll be an 0-2 pitch. He deals. Swinging strike three. Drop by Crooks. He goes. He throws down to first in time for the strikeout. For the second out of the inning. McCarthy stays right down there at second following his leadoff double. So, for an inning, there was a gentleman who won a charity auction to be able to call a Phillies game at Citizens Bank for an inning. I'll get to the rest of this moment. Now, here is the often chased after Hunter Goodman at the trade deadline. Didn't end up going anywhere. The right-handed catcher hitting cleanup tonight. Runner on second with two out. Top of the first, no score. So he won a charity auction, so he got to do this. He was in his late 60s. I think he was 68 years old. He slipped right into the role, and you could have hired him for essentially any team in the role. It was something to see. Coming sets Leahy, righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Four-seam fastball outside. The count is 1-0. And you can find it on YouTube later, preferably, but, make a mental note of it. And it is unbelievable. Coming set is Leahy. Runner leads off second. The 1-0. Swinging strike on the sinker upstairs. The count is 1-1. and he was so good at it. The thing that's kind of interesting about him is when they introduced him, they asked him, well, what do you do for a living? Hold that thought. Come in set is Leahy, the 1-1. Swinging strike on the sweeper, down and away to Goodman, and the count is 1-2. Hunter Goodman, not Saul Goodman. And he said, well, for the last couple of years, I've been a substitute teacher. And he failed to mention whatsoever what he did prior to that. I'll get to the subtext here in a moment. Hunter Goodman steps out of the box briefly, tightens up the batting glove, steps back into the saddle. McCarthy, he leads off second, following that leadoff double. Leahy comes set. He holds. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball on the outside corner below the belt. For the final out of the inning, Kyle Leahy actually manages to strike out the side following the leadoff double. So, no runs, 1 hit, no walks, 1 left on. After 1 half inning of play, it is Colorado 0 and the St. Louis Cardinals coming to bat. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's go to the chat. Okay, so he does this amazing job. Right? He sounds like a total pro. I don't know if anybody else caught this out here. And they ask him, how old are you? He said, I'm 68. And then they say, okay, well, what do you do for a living? He said, well, for the last few years, I've been a substitute teacher. Doesn't mention anything beyond that. Here's the subtext, folks. I grew up in the Northeast. I know what I'm looking at when I see it. The guy was working as a substitute teacher for the last few years. He wins the largest prize at a charity auction. Okay? What he is not telling you, but if you're able to read the tea leaves there, is that this is one extremely wealthy individual who spent the vast majority of his career in high finance and just doesn't want to say it. But if you know what you're looking for and you know what you're dealing with, that is exactly what he was. Now, that didn't take anything away from his performance. I have nothing against how people will make their money, but I find it funny when I encounter something that I grew up looking at, specifically the towns around where I live, certainly not mine, Christ, but it's like, if it quacks like a duck and it waddles like a duck. Leading off here is going to be J.J. Weatherholt. He is going to be facing the righty, Ryan Feltner. 4-5 with a 5.75 ERA. 30 innings pitched, 57 strikeouts, 1.46. A four-seamer, a slider, a changeup, a sinker, a sweeper, a curve. Had an ERA over 9 for all 4 starts in July. Bounced back a bit last time against Kansas City. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Four-seam fastball downstairs. The count is 1-0. Mobster Paul. I don't know about that, Richard. Now, the 1-0 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball down and in. The count is 1-1. Oh, yeah. Cinte. Or Cinta. Yeah. Oh, he's coming. Now, the 1-1 pitch. Hit on up the middle, picked up there at short. He throws to first in time to get Weatherholt, who grounds out 6-3 for the first out. Paradise Paul and the Get Fresh crew. Defensive alignment for the Rockies. Moniak in left. Kerrigan center. Johnston in right. Castro at third. Tovar at short. Julian at second. Rumfeld at first. Goodman behind the dish to Feltner and battery mate to Feltner on the mound. Now the first pitch. Popped straight up off the bat of Jordan Walker, who's underneath it. The shortstop calls for it. He makes the catch. Does Tovar for the second out of the inning. So one pitch, one out there for Feltner against Jordan Walker. And here comes Alec Burleson. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Tucson checking in. Roger Bassman on the surface of the sun, our personal correspondent to our local star. Now, here comes the first pitch to Burleson. Strike, four-seam fastball, inner third above the knees. The count is 0-1. No, but I would definitely encourage you all to look up that call from the guy who won the charity auction, who called that inning of Phillies Nationals. It is incredible. The 0-1. A curveball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Yeah, Liam Doyle does seem to be picking it up down there. 287, 18 home runs, 77 RBIs, the 1-1. Swinging strike on the curveball down and in, and the count is 1-2. 3 home runs in his series against the Yankees that, abusing the short porch. Coming wide, the 1-2. A changeup down and in the dirt. Blocked very well by Goodman, and the count is 2-2. Hitting .355 since the All-Star break is Alec Burleson. The 2-2 pitch. Check swing on the four-seamer upstairs. Did he go around? No, says Blue down the third baseline. The count is full, 3-2. Now he winds the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, so Burleson, he works a 2-out walk. Cardinals have a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. And here comes Ivan Herrera. He's at DH tonight. With the return of Jordan Alexander Walker, he goes back further down in the order. I'm not a big fan of it. Not a big fan. 239, 12 home runs, 47 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup. From the stretch is Feltner, the first pitch to Herrera. Check swing, foul ball, and the slider down Broadway. The count is 0-1. Came in at 89 miles an hour. There we go. Feltner sets at the letters. Righty-righty matchup. He holds. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Ivan Herrera. Feltner was taken too friggin' long. And Ivan Herrera was not wrong. Now back into the saddle is Herrera, the 0-1. Hit foul down the third base line and out of play. Count is 0-2. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Friday night. Did you have a good week? Did you have a good Thursday, for that matter? We didn't see each other on Thursday. Coming sets Feltner. The 0-2 to Herrera. Chop foul. Just gets a piece of that sweeper down and away. Rolls over towards the Rocky dugout. And the count remains 0-2. Infield playing way back and shaded towards left with the exception at first base. Here's a pitch. Hit out there down the line directly at the third baseman on the line. Picks it up for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 1 full inning of play, it is scoreless going top of 2. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Brother Joe. Brother Paul, good evening. We need these wins bad. We should beat the Rockies easily. Number 38 on the likes. Let's go, chat. Appreciate everybody. War Cry, I'm here. It's time. Good to see you, Brother Joe. And thank you. Well, with that all said, due up for the Rockies, top of the second inning against Kyle Leahy, Rumfeld, Castro, and Tovar. 5, 6, and 7 in the Colorado order. No, but I hope you all did have a good Friday. You're able to relax a bit, get to watch some Cardinal baseball. Hopefully they in addition to Kyle Leahy pitching well, which we've been very fortunate to have quite a bit of in the last month and a half, they find a way to hit it at Busch Stadium. I know that has not exactly come consistently this year, but that would be a nice Friday night treat. Does feel nice that it is the weekend, though, which is a relative thing for me, I suppose. Oh, you got it, Joe. So we await the top of the second inning. Kyle Leahy will be coming out for his second frame after giving up that rather odd leadoff double to McCarthy. 3 strikeouts in a row. Not bad. All right, we're back here for the top of the second inning. Here is Rumfeld, the first baseman. Righty-lefty match at the first pitch. Hit out into center field and in for a base hit. Picked up out there by Nate Church. And Rumfeld has himself a leadoff single to center. Colorado has a runner on first and nobody out. Top of the second inning, no score. Now, I don't know how many people have heard me say this. I've mentioned it, kind of sprinkling it in here, but I want to make it clear. I am going to be calling NFL. This is a Cardinal channel first. The Cardinals will always preempt the NFL, but it's happening. Now, here is the lefty Castro. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball down Broadway. The count is 0-1. 264, 13 home runs, 48 RBIs to Willie Castro in 97 games, a 760 OPS. Runner on first. Coming set, the 0-1, hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Picked up there by Jordan Walker, who tossed it back in. Going all the way to third is Rumfeld, and now Colorado has runners at the corners with nobody out here in the top of the second inning. But yes, I will be calling the NFL. The Cardinals will always preempt the NFL. There will also be postseason Major League Baseball, of course. But I know there's many an NFL fan out there. There's not going to be a specific focus in terms of a team, at least not as yet. Now, here's the righty shortstop Tovar with runners at the corners, nobody out. Top of the second inning, no score. Righty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Swinging strike on the slider upstairs. The count is 0-1. Heather, you got to remember here, the issue with the Rockies is their pitching. It's not their hitting. They actually hit fairly well. Tovar's hitting 207. From the stretch, the 0-1 foul back on the sweeper away. The count is 0-2. I have no doubt, Heather, I will be calling some Chiefs games. Not exclusively. I don't have an exclusive emphasis on teams here at the moment. And I don't know that I will. But the Chiefs are most certainly going to be involved. No question. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Tovar. Ezekiel Tovar, 25-year-old right-handed shortstop. Coming sets Leahy at the Birds. The 0-2. Hit down toward third base. Picked up on a hop there by the third base. He throws to first in time to get Tovar flying down the line for the first out of the inning. Moving is the runner from first to second on the play. And now the Rockies have runners on second and third with one out here in the top of the second inning. New Orleans Saints fan. All right. Now here's the right fielder Johnston hitting left-handed. Righty-lefty matchup. Runners on second and third. The first pitch. Changeup up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. No Rams games. You're not really going to have to convince me very much there, Jeff. Seeing Myles Garrett in another uniform is painful. He comes set. Now the 1-0. Hit on up the middle. Picked up on a hop there by Mason Wynn. Right up second. He throws to first in time. Scoring is the runner from third. So it is a ground out and an RBI by Johnston. And Colorado will take a 1-0 lead The runner advances from second to third on the play. Wynn had to go quite a ways to his right to get it, throwing it from shallow left center field. But that cannon of his, it wasn't even close. Now here is here's the 9-hitter, the third baseman Julian. Check that, the second baseman Julian. Righty-lefty matchup. He's hitting .209. Runner on second with 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the slider down Broadway. The count is 0-1. Yeah, we'll see what happens, Chris. We'll see what happens. I'm scoping it out. Now, the 0-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Whatever I choose to call, I'll make an announcement a week ahead of time before that comes down. Runner leads off third. It's a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the 1-2. Hit down the right field side and picked up there in foul territory by Burleson. It is ruled a foul ball, and the count is 1-2. Yeah, that was an odd one. It was just rolling down the line, and when looking here on the replay, God, that looked like a fair ball to me, but it's not exactly one of those that is reviewable. Looked like he picked it up on the line, which suggests to me a fair ball. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Sweeper on the outside corner at the knees. He's challenging it, of course, now. It's going to be strike 3. For the third and final out of the inning. Nothing but zone. So, 1 run and 1 left on after 1.5 innings of play. It is 1-0 Rockies going to the bottom of the second inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mic. So, like I said, it was a bad challenge. It was a bad challenge. You knew it when you saw it. You're like, no. You're gonna lose one of your challenges tonight, guys. Oh, you're gonna be there on Monday, Tuda. You just chugged water. That's well. I'm glad to hear you're hydrated. Well, hope the Cardinals don't play flat tonight. Yeah, me too. Me too. That's never enjoyable. I will say this about Kyle Leahy. Even with the 1 run there in the top of the second inning, yeah, he definitely has a strikeout pitch going. You know, a couple of favorable drops here and there. He's doing his job. You can see the palpable sense of difference in confidence between the first 3.5 months of his season and everything since. Due up for the Redbirds, bottom of the second inning, Jimmy Crooks, Mason Wynn, and Nate Church. So 5, I should say 5, 6, and 7. We're back here for the bottom of the second inning. Feltner out there for his second frame. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Jimmy Crooks has actually been heating up a little bit. Saw him go deep the other night. Now the first pitch to Crooks. Swinging strike on the slider down and in. The count is 0-1. Jimmy Otero. Hey, Paul D. Glad to be listening. Go Big Red. Cheers to that, man. Bo Schlosser. Live in Colorado, so came here, see what's up. Welcome aboard, the 0-1. A four-seam fastball inside. It's ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Well, Bo Schlosser, thanks for making yourself known. Welcome aboard. Now, the 1-1 to Crooks. Swinging strike on the sinker away. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alrighty. Coming Ryan Feltner, the 1-2. Hit out to left field, giving chase is the shortstop, and it falls between the left fielder and shortstop, so Jimmy Crooks has a leadoff single to left on the bloop single, and the Cardinals have a runner on first with nobody out following the leadoff bloop single to left off the bat of Jimmy Crooks. Now here comes Mason Wynn. Crooks is batting fifth. Mason Wynn, 238, 4 home runs, 44 RBIs in 105 games. The first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball, inner third below the belt. The count is 0-1. It's a righty-righty matchup against the righty Feltner. He's from the stretch with Jimmy Crooks on first. 1-0 Colorado. He sets at the letters, does Feltner. The 0-1. A sinker up and in ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Infield defense heavily shaded towards left and largely playing back with the righty Wynn in something of a modified double play depth. The 1-1 hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Pick up out there by Johnson, who throws it back in, and that will put runners on second and third with nobody out following the double to right off the bat of Mason Wynn. And the Cardinals have runners on second and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. And in that case, it was perfect because he hit against the shift, which is something he will do. It was wonderful to see. Got right over there, over the glove of Rumfeld. Now, here is Nate Church. It's a righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Uncle Charlie, strike, outer third, thigh high. The count is 0-1. A Church Tater incoming. I see. Okay. We'll see, Justin. He's hitting 236 on the air. The 0-1. There's a fly ball out into center field. Going back is the center fielder. He's underneath it in front of the track. He makes the catch. Tagging in, scoring from third is Jimmy Crooks. Moving from second to third is Mason Wynn. And that will be a sac fly and an RBI off the bat of Nate Church. And the Cardinals tie it up at 1. Moving from second to third was Mason Wynn on the sacrifice fly. And here's something I have to give Mason Wynn. This is something I've been seeing do more in the last couple of weeks, and especially on the road trip and just before that, is he has been taking advantage of more and more sacrifice flies other than just trying to score from third. Here's Brian Torres, 232, 4 home runs. Now the first pitch. Hit down the left field line. Going back is the left fielder in front of the track. He's underneath it. He makes the catch. Scoring and tagging easily from third is Mason Wynn. And that will give the Cardinals a 2-1 lead on the sacrifice fly and RBI off the bat of Brian Torres. The Cardinals have a 2-1 lead. They respond right back. And they did it through ABC Smart Baseball. That's all you can ask for, folks. Now, here is Cesar Prieto, the left-hander, righty-lefty matchup. He puts down the bunt in front of home plate. Picked up there by Feltner. He throws to first wide. Safe at first is Prieto with a 2-out single. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with 2 out. Here in the bottom of the second inning, 2 already in for the Redbirds. They have themselves a 2-1 lead. And now back to the top of the order with J.J. Weatherall. He is 0 for 1, grounded out to short in his first at-bat, I believe. On deck is Jordan Walker. In the case of Feltner, he pounced on the thing, but his momentum was taken away from first, threw across his body, threw wide. Righty-lefty matchup, the first pitch to Weatherall. A changeup upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Came in at 82 miles an hour at the right hand of Feltner. JJ is 0 for 1. Grounded out first at bat. Pareto leads off first. Now, coming set is Feltner. The 1-0. Foul down the left field line and out of play. And the count is 1-1. Something I realized recently, Brother Joe might be able to appreciate this in a way, is every once in a while, I find myself calling this game, and I kind of go into my drill instructor voice. I can't explain it. You only know it if you've heard it. Now, coming set Feltner. Here's a pitch. A changeup up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Oh, I agree, Joe. J.J. Weatherall hitting .283 with runners on and 2 out this year. Right, leading off first is Prieto, the 2-1. Uncle Charlie strike down Broadway. The count is 2-2. How is the wife? Mrs. Game Mike is doing well. Doing well. Thank you for asking, Alan. She's thinking about making a Mrs. Game Mike account, actually called that, so she can be there in the chat. Come in, set. Runner leads the 2-2. A changeup down and in. A very nice backhand there by Goodman, and the count is 3-2. Let me hear your war cry. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Brother Joe. You just start barking. That's why when you say golden voice, I'm like, what? Leading off first is Prieto. Here's the 3-2. He takes off on the 3-2 with 2 out. Ball 4 on the slider, down and in. So J.J. Weatherall works a 2-off walk-off of Ryan Feltner. And the Cardinals have runners on first and second with 2 out. Here comes Jordan Alexander Walker. And for the record, no, I have not served in the military. I am not a current. Well, there are no ex-Marines except for, oh boy, who are the two? Guy that killed Kennedy and the guy from the shooter in Austin. Whitman, that's right. Whitman, and why am I forgetting the Kennedy assassin? Just don't go Full Metal Jacket on us. You don't have to worry about that. Now, here's Jordan Walker, 0 for 1 with a pop-out on the first pitch from Feltner. You know, when you're off for 3 days, timing. Hey, if I had the answer to that question, DJ, I would be making a lot more money. How they just came out of nowhere? Now, coming sets Feltner. It's a righty-righty matchup. He's from the stretch. The first pitch of Jordan Walker. A sinker well down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Infield defense very heavily shaded towards left with the ship with the righty. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike. Swinged over the top of that sinker. Down and in. The count is 1-1. Oh, yes, Oswald. There we go. Thank you, Jimmy. That's right. You're a JFK guy. Now, the 1-1. Chop foul on the slider away. Just getting a piece of that one was Jordan Walker. The count is 1-2. It's a 2-1 Cardinal lead. They have 2 already in here. Both of them coming by way of a sacrifice fly and an RBI after having runners on second and third with nobody out. Good, solid, fundamental ABC baseball. Next pitch is going to be Feltner's 35th. He comes set at the letters. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker, so everybody take a drink. He gets back into the saddle. Prieto leads off second. Weatherholt leads off first. Feltner comes set. The 1-2 to Walker. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count comes even at 2-2. Oh, we have an 82nd airborne in the audience. Cheers to you. He comes set. The 2-2. There's a fly ball out to center field. Underneath it in front of the track is the center fielder. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. However, 2 across and 2 left on. The Cardinals have themselves a 2-1 lead going to the top of the third inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, you haven't done so already, but you feel I've earned it, please do leave a like. It's helping out this stream a ton. Cannot emphasize that enough. Cannot articulate it in the time I have available to me. And it's helping get out there to more Cardinal fans who need help watching this team every day somehow. Even though I don't call them every day. In fact, I am off tomorrow due to travel. However, if you like what you see and hear as well, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, 2-1, Redbirds going top of 3. All right. Cards did good against the Yankees. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. You know, it's interesting, right? You cannot take anything away they did there. But it is always important to keep things in context, right? You know, the biggest thing that they did that was incredible was in Game 1. Really. All right, they knocked out Cam Schlittler in 3 innings. All right, that guy's probably, so long as he stays healthy and consistent, going to win the AL Cy Young Award. Nobody's doing that this year for the most part. And, you know, they didn't face off against Garrett Cole. They didn't get Max Fried. There's no Bellinger, Judge, or Stanton. But you know what? You go to war with the army you have, with the military you have, and the same is true of baseball. And you know what? They went and did their jobs on the road in a hostile environment. And believe me, Yankee fans were extremely shrill after that particular outing. That 3-game set. Do it for the Rockies. Here's McCarthy. Strike, 4-seam fastball inside corner. The count is 0-1. McCarthy, Carrig, and Moniak. 1, 2, 3. Now the 0-1 from Leahy. Fouled down the third baseline and out of play on the 4-seam fastball up and away. And the count is 0-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the third inning. 2-1 Redbirds. Kyle Leahy gets himself a bit of rosin there. 33 pitches so far for Kyle. Now the 0-2. A changeup well down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Oh, is he back down in AAA? Well, it's good to see Ethan. Welcome back. Righty-lefty matchup, I might add here. Now the 1-2 pitch. A sweeper down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Infield defense heavily shaded towards right with the lefty McCarthy, who's 1 for 1. Led off this game with a very, very much a hustle double. Very heads up. The 2-2. Hit to the right side. It's a fair ball picked up by Burleson. Covering there is Leahy. He takes the throw, but he cannot beat McCarthy to the bag with an infield single off the bat of McCarthy. He is now 2 for 2. And the ROX have a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the third inning. Yeah, that kid can fly. And he's not a kid. I think he's 29. Yep, 29. I was not running that well at 29, I can assure you. Now, here is the left-hand hitting Cole Carrig. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is Leahy setting at the Birds. He dances off first. The first pitch. Hit to the right side. Picked up by Witherell. Throws the second one. On to first. A double play. A 4-6-3 double play for the first and second outs of the inning. So, that erases both McCarthy and Carrig. Now here comes Moniak. Moniak is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He was one of the triplet strikeouts in the top of the first inning for Kyle Leahy. 2-1 Cardinals, top of the third inning. Righty-lefty matchup. Coming one. The first pitch to Moniak. Strike, 4-seam fastball down Broadway. 97 miles an hour out of the right hand of Leahy. The count is 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. A curveball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Coming winds Leahy, the 1-1. Swinging strike on the changeup away, and the count is 1-2 strikes. Mickey Moniak over 1 with the strikeout, 277, 19 home runs, 52 RBIs in 77 games, and 887 OPS. He's got pop. 40 pitches so far for Leahy in 2 2/3. Now the 1-2. There's a fly ball out into left center field, going back, and it will go all the way to the wall. A carom off the top of the wall, bounces off the warning track, throwing it back in is Nate Church. And Moniak has himself a 2-out double to left center field, and the ROX have a runner on second with 2 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. And in that case, it looked either to be a 4-seam fastball or a sinker that was about belt high on the outside corner. Moniak just went the other way with it, hit it where they ain't, put it to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark, bounced off the track, and then the top of the gray bar sign, caromed right back to Nate Church, played it very well on the hop. Now here is Hunter Goodman, hitting 146 with runners in scoring position and 2 out this year. Righty-righty matchup from the stretch is Leahy. The first pitch to Goodman. A slider strike, inner third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Am I around 45? No, I'm younger than 45, Alan. I'm not even 40. Heat comes set at the Birds. The 0-1 pitch. Check swing, and he actually just gets a piece of that thing, so it's an 0-2 count. So it's an 0-2 count here to Hunter Goodman, no relation to Saul. Next will be Leahy's 44th pitch here in 2 2/3. Moniak leads off second. Coming set is Leahy. The 0-2. Fouled straight back on the curveball down Broadway. 83 miles an hour out of the right hand of Leahy with that Uncle Charlie. The count is 0-2. Now come in set. The 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the sweeper away. For the 3rd and final out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no walks, 1 left on. After 2.5 innings of play, it is 2-1 Cardinals going to the bottom of the 3rd inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's get back to that chat. Okay. I'm young? Yeah, I guess so. A lot of mileage on this tread, Alan. Even at 39, a lot of mileage on this tread. All right, let's see here. Hey, Rush Dash, good to see ya. New England boy, we're about to overtake the Yankees in the AL East. Yeah, you know what you're not going to overtake them over in? World Series rings. All right. Brother Joe, so far it looks that way, Richard, because the Cardinals have been picking up the right prospects, I believe. I think their long-term prospects are generally good. I mean that in terms of they have a bright future. And that is a fine thing. A lot of nice pieces down there in the minors. You know, not all of them are going to hit, obviously, but some of them will, probably. And, you know, you have to imagine they're going to use some of those pieces to try to bring in some talent elsewhere, especially like in terms of getting a front of the rotation starter, which, you know, that might exist down in the minors somewhere. But Major League, ready to go, controllable years, that'd be great. Due up here for the Redbirds, Burleson, Herrera, and Crooks. 3, 4, and 5 in the order for the Redbirds. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-1 Cardinals. Nice establishing shots via drone of downtown St. Louis there. Nice job, Cardinals.tv. Yeah, I think he's done a decent job. For year 1, I mean, I don't think we have much to complain about. This is supposed to be a much worse team. They're not, amazingly. All right. Feltner's out there for his third frame. The first pitch to Burleson. Hit down the right field line and slices foul. So it went about a mile long, but well to the right of the right field foul pole. The count is 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Hit down the left field line. Given chases the left fielder in front of the wall. He makes the catch, does Moniak, off the bat of Burleson for the first out of the inning. Sajacy and Nolan Gorman. Yeah, apparently Nolan Gorman has really been picking it up over the last 7 or 8 games or something. Yeah, Richard, that would not have been a bad bet. Now, here is Herrera, hit foul down the third base side now to play. The count is 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Next pitch is going to be Feltner's 40th on the evening. It's a 2-1 Cardinal lead here in the bottom of the third inning with 1 out, nobody on. Feltner winds and deals. A curveball down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Fair enough, Justin. Fair enough. They were just showing Kyle Leahy and Dusty Blake going over a tablet. The 1-1. Fouled back on the curveball away, and the count is 1-2. Is he wearing his high socks tonight? That's a fine question. Yes. The 1-2. Just got a piece of that changeup down and away, and the count remains 1-2. Herrera gets back into the saddle. Nobody on with 1 out. 2-1 Cardinals. The 1-2 from Feltner. Foul tipped on the sweeper, down and away, rolls behind the on-deck circle. For the Rockies, the count remains 1-2. Honestly, Rush Dash, I'm not doing too bad. How are things up there in San Carlos? Ivan Herrera is 0 for 1. Feltner winds, Feltner deals. There's a fly ball down the left field line, going back, looking up, and it is gone. A solo home run to the left. Off the bat of Ivan Herrera. Ivan the Terrible strikes again, and the Cardinals take a 3-1 lead. An absolute no-doubter. An assault on the left field fence at Busch. A solo home run for Ivan the Terrible. The Cardinals have a 3-1 lead. Yeah, so Herrera's definitely been heating it up. Here comes Jimmy Crooks. Singled his first at-bat, bloop to left. Now, the first pitch to Crooks. Four-seam fastball outside, ruled the ball. The count is 1-0, 92 miles an hour. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Jimmy's in the saddle. Feltner looks in. He winds, and Feltner's deals. Swinging strike on the changeup on the inner third, about thigh high. Swinging over the top of that one was Jimmy Crooks. The count is 1-1. Hey, Cat Snow, good to see you. Just coming in. Let's go, Herrera. Hey, Paul and everyone. Hey, Cat. Good to see you back. Next pitch is going to be Ryan Feltner's 47th of the evening. 1 for 1 with a single and a run for Jimmy Crooks. Now, the 1-1 pitch. A changeup downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Jimmy Crooks in the 5-hole, folks. Here we are, man. A new day. Now the 2-1. Hit out there to left field. Underneath it is Moniak. Comes in a couple of steps. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. I miss the nickname Jersey Night. something that I gotta say about the Cardinals, at least in years past, they have some of the best giveaways. They don't fence it off with age. They don't have like a whole bunch of like corporate logos and crap all over it. They do a nice job. Here's Mason Wynn and the first pitch. Hit to the left side, picked up there at third. He throws to first in time for the final out of the inning. However, one run on one very big hit, the solo home run off the bat of Ivan Herrera to left. The Cardinals have a 3-1 lead going to the top of the fourth inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. They're a bit streaky, but their pitching is solid enough to carry them, I think. We shall see. We shall see. All right, due up for the ROX. The first baseman, Rumfield, I should say. Poor Abbott. Third baseman, Castro, and the shortstop, Tovar. So 5, 6, and 7 in the ROX order. The Cardinals have a 3-1 lead. So I want to thank you all so much for spending part of your Friday night here with me and us on Game Mic. No place I'd rather be, nothing else I'd rather be doing. And I know I've mentioned this a couple of times here so far, but there's not going to be a stream tomorrow. Couldn't book a flight that didn't interfere with the call. However, I'll be back on Sunday afternoon from the road, so it will be audio only. I'll be audio only for most of next week, but don't worry, before you know it, I'll be back here on camera. But there's no reason to believe that anything other than tomorrow will be interrupted in that time. All right, we are nearly back here for the top of the fourth inning. Kyle Leahy going out there for his fourth frame. 1 earned in 3 innings pitched so far. Mariners are terrible this year. They got one thing going for them. The rest of the AL West ain't that much better. Neither is most of the vast majority of the American League, for that matter. That's really something. All right. Here comes Rumfield. 1 for 1 with a run scored. Here's the pitch. A sweeper up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. And look, Joe Buck is in the booth as a guest, gracing them with his presence. The pitch. A changeup called strike on the outside corner, thigh high. The count is 1-1. Righty-lefty matchup. Oh, that'd be really something. The Astros taking it. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it feels like that division could go to anybody. Now, the 1-1 pitch. Hit out there into center field. Going back is Mason Wynn, and it falls into center field for a leadoff single off the bat of Rumfield, who is now 2 for 2 tonight. And the ROX have a runner on first with nobody out. Here in the top of the fourth inning, it is a 3-1 Redbird lead. You know, if you are of a certain age, anybody a Joe Buck fan, I'm kind of so-so on him. He's better at football. That's my take. Now the first pitch to Castro. Four-seam fastball strike on the inner third below the belt. The count is 0-1. He's better at the NFL than he is at baseball. I've always felt that way. Troy Aikman, it really does partner with him extremely well. Next pitch is Leahy's 50th. He sets at the Birds from the stretch. The 0-1. A sweeper downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Leahy sets at the Birds. The 1-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Scott Reed, Biloxi, ... Hey, Paul. Howdy, Scott. Castro here is 1 for 1. Runner on first with nobody out. Here's a 2-1 pitch. A slider up and away and clear out of the zone. The count is 3-1. Yeah, the Rangers definitely do. We've seen it. Up close and personal. Leahy comes, set at the Birds. Runner leads off first. It's a 3-1 count. The 3-1 pitch. Hit out there into right field. Going back is Jordan Walker. It's over his head. He picks up the carom off the base of the wall around the Cardinal bullpen. He throws it back in. And so a double there off the bat of Castro. And the ROX have runners on second and third with nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning. So, a little bit of solid hitting there for the ROX. That's something they do well, as I've told you here from the beginning. It's the pitching that's the problem. Oh, Jacob deGrom turned down the Braves. Interesting. Now here is the righty shortstop Tovar. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. A curveball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Kyle Leahy's definitely somewhat lost the zone here in the top of the fourth. We'll see how he pivots, see if he's able to bounce back, but he has runners on second and third. He sets at the Birds. The 1-0. Hit down the right field line and slicing into the stands on the sinker down and away. The count is 1-1. Yeah, that's actually, Biloxi Blues is a very good movie. Doesn't get nearly enough credit. Now, coming set at the Birds is Leahy. He's at the stretch. The 1-1. Foul tipped on the sweeper, down and away. Just getting a piece of that one was Tovar. The count is 1-2. Yeah, Joe Buck, 2026 Ford C. Frick Award winner. He's in the hall just like his dad. Coming set. The 1-2. Hit down the right field line and out of play on the sweeper away. Count remains 1-2. Yeah, he's wearing one of those Cardinals City Connect jerseys. Make of that what you will, folks. Come set. The 1-2. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is even at 2-2. All right. Coming sets Leahy. He deals. Hit down the first base line and out of play on the sinker down and away. The count remains 2-2. Next pitch is going to be Kyle Leahy's 60th in 3+ innings of work. Tovar is 0 for 1. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Tovar. Ezekiel Tovar. Coming sets Leahy. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Tovar on the Uncle Charlie. Down and away. For the first out of the inning. So Kyle Leahy, with runners on second and third with nobody out, manages to get the 7th hitting shortstop for the first out. Now here is Johnston, the right fielder. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. A slider away, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Showing us Michael McGreevy there sitting on the top step of the dugout. I imagine he's going to be due up here sometime in the near future. Leahy sets and Leahy deals. Foul down the left field line and out of play on the changeup up and away. And the count is 1-1. Johnston gets back into the saddle. Runners on second and third with one out. 3-1 Redbirds. It's the top of the fourth inning. He comes set and deals. Hit to the right side. Picked up there on the ground by Wetherell. He throws to first in time. Scoring from third is the runner. And the runner moves from second to third on the play. So he grounds out 4-3 and has the RBI, does Johnston. And that cuts it down to a 3-2 Redbird lead. And the ROX have a runner on third with 2 out. I feel like there's a balance there, Joe. I really do. Now, here's the 9-hitter, Julian, and here's the pitch. A curveball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Julian is 0 for 1. Next pitch is Leahy's 65th on the evening. Runner at third with 2 outs. 1-0 count. Infield definitely shaded towards right. The pitch. Strike, slider down Broadway below the belt. The count is 1-1. There's a balance there because you do need to invest some. A lot of that has to do with just keeping the players that are good, that were prospect, that turned into stars, of course. Cummins sets Leahy. The 1-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball well inside and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Yeah. Looking in is Leahy towards Crooks. Runner leads off third. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Julian, the second baseman for the ROX. Truer words were never spoken, Brother Joe. Now he sets at the Birds. He deals. A slider down Broadway, called a ball, not challenged by Jimmy Crooks, and I don't know how because that thing had nothing but zone, but apparently the count is 3-1. I looked in there on game day. Maybe he made the right call. The 3-1. Swinging strike on the changeup down and in. Swinging over the top of that one was Julian. The count is 3-2. At some point, team needs to spend. Absolutely, Hal. There does come a right time. And that's really where it's at, the right time. Bringing in certain veterans at the right moments. Now the 3-2 pitch. Hit to the right side, picked up there by Burleson. Covering the bag is Leahy. Takes the throw, beats him to the bag for the third and final out of the inning. 1 run and 1 left on. The ROX, they come 1 closer. The Cardinals have a 3-2 lead going to the bottom of the fourth inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 3-2 Redbirds going bottom of 4. Let's go back to the chat. All right. All you got to spend, what you got to get that money. Cardinals had a good amount of money for the draft this year. We're up there with the top 4. The issue with the Cardinal money right now is that lack of the regional sports broadcasting network, which, you know, Cardinals.tv is maybe making somewhere between a quarter and a third of the money that is missing from, you know, the Bally DraftKings network crapola. And that's definitely been an issue. And there's no way to be entirely certain where that will go in the future, but undoubtedly it is leading to the impending lockout. Oh, I'm all about art through adversity, Brother Joe, no doubt. But it's not easy to do when you're not willing to spend something. And the Cardinals, even in the, you know, the top of their heyday, you know, they would bring in the occasional big ticket free agent, but even they, from time to time, would have to, you know, rest, thankfully, on the disposition of some of these guys they were looking to re-sign, that they'd be willing to take less money to stay in St. Louis. And I think it does speak to Cardinal fans that a number of guys have over the years. All right, we're back for the bottom of the fourth inning. 3-2 Redbirds due up. Church, Torres, and Prieto. 7, 8, 9 in the Redbird order. Now, Feltner comes one. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. A four-seam fastball strike. Outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Now, the 0-1 pitch. A curveball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Well, excuse me, 1-1. I don't know. They're just getting their piece of the pie. Billions and billions of dollars. The 1-1. Foul down the left field line and out of play. And the count is 1-2. I'm not saying that they aren't making more than literally everybody else alive, with very, very few exceptions there, Harold. But you know what? A very small percentage of guys hit, and it's a very big pie. The 1-2 pitch. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Yeah. The price tag has definitely gone up. Sacrifice fly and an RBI in the first plate appearance there for Church. A sinker down and in. The count is 3-2. Well, I think that's really kind of where it comes down to, Harold, in regards to the lockout. Now, the 3-2 offering. Called strike three. Four-seam fastball down Broadway. Down in the observatory goes Nate Church for the first out of the inning. Because the reality is, when less revenue is coming in, you can't have contracts that are quite that large, especially when nearly half of the league is missing a great deal of revenue in the process. Here's Brian Torres. Here's the first pitch. Uncle Charlie strike, inside quarter at the knees. The count is 0-1. Brian Torres, he got the sacrifice fly that scored Mason Wynn. Coming wind, Feltner, the 0-1. Foul tipped on the four-seam fastball away, and the count is 0-2. But ultimately, at the end of the day, fans can't really feel too bad one way or the other. It's a millionaires versus billionaires struggle. The 0-2. A changeup downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Yes, indeed, Scott. I had you in mind with that. 59th pitch incoming here from Feltner. The 1-2 to Torres. Hit to the right side and foul down the first baseline. And I also think, in terms of this, this whole youth movement here under Chaim Bloom and whatnot, may also be the Cardinals preparing for a very different economic landscape post-lockout. Here's the pitch. A changeup well upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. In which case, they will be better positioned than some, though any existing contract would undoubtedly be grandfathered in. The 2-2 pitch. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-2. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Harold. The 3-2 pitch. Hit to the right side, picked up on the hop there at second. He throws to first, underhand, beats Torres to the bag with the throw for the second out of the inning. So Julian came charging in on that thing on a couple of very slow hops. Underhand tosses over to first for the second out. That's a really good question, Richard. I think that question has varied over time. Here's Cesar Prieto. Hit to the right side. Picked up there at first. First baseman takes it to the bag for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 4 full innings of play, it is 3-2 Redbirds going to the top of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, and you haven't done so already, and you feel I've earned it, please do leave a like. Helps out this growing channel continue to grow, undeniably, and you will have my eternal gratitude, no doubt. And if you like what you see in here, well, hit subscribe. We have a lot of fun here on Game Mike. With that said, 3-2 Redbirds going top of 5. Yeah, Richard, I think that question has varied over time. The one thing that the Cardinals have going for them overall is that they're definitely not the biggest market. I think they may be very well, basically top of the bottom third there. But they're an extremely valuable franchise, and they are an extremely important market. Which is to say that Major League Baseball wants the Cardinals to do well. One is because they have historical prominence. They have a national and, by extension, international following. We've seen this here in the chat, game in and game out. And that's really important. It really is. That and the Cardinal market hits so many different parts of different states that don't have Major League Baseball. And considering there seems to be a lineage of Cardinal fans as a generational inherited thing, you have people in western Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Iowa, Arkansas, a good deal of Kansas, regardless of any Kansas City iteration of a major league team, because they were there so much longer that before any one of them ever showed up. All right, we're back here for the top of the 5th inning. Now, back to the top of the order with the lefty McCarthy. He's 2 for 2. A double and a single. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Coming winds Leahy, the first pitch. A curveball outside and ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. That and the Cardinals are very marketable, The 1-0 pitch. Hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. So a leadoff single by McCarthy. Kyle Leahy has not gotten him out once tonight. He is 3 for 3. That 29-year-old young man is very locked in here at the moment. Harold, a $5 super. Oh, well, thank you, Harold. Bombers Game Mike with Big Paul D is where it's at. Thank you so much, Harold. Here's Cole Carrig. He's 0 for 2. Runner on first with nobody out. From the stretch is Leahy. He sets at the Birds. The first pitch to Carrig. A changeup down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. I really appreciate it, Harold. Thank you. Yeah, in many ways they do, Richard. In unassailable fashion. Now the 1-0 pitch. Strike. Curveball on the outside corner below the belt. The count is 1-1. Martin Greenwell. Speaking up for Louisville. He used to have a AAA affiliate here back in the 80s. Throwing over to first, back in time is McCarthy with the head first slide. The count is 1-1. At the moment, ZZ Captain Mastiff. I mean, the Cubs have become a really prodigious force, especially after the 2016 thing. Not that they weren't before that. The 1-1, hit to the right side, picked up by Witherall. He throws the second one on the first, not in time. So Carrick reaches on the fielder's choice. McCarthy is erased at second with the force. And that'll put a runner on first with 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. It is a 3-2 Redbird lead. I will say this. 1 and 2 in the ROX order has a lot of speed. They fly down the line. It is not easy turning a double play on them. Yeah, I mean, they're both historic franchises, but I would argue that in the bigger scope of Major League Baseball history, the Cardinals are undoubtedly the more impressive franchise. With a greater reach in some ways. Here's the pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball down and into the lefty Moniak, who's 1 for 2. The count is 0-1. He has a strikeout and a double tonight. Runner on first with 1 out. Top of the 5th inning, 3-2 Redbirds. Oh, they are a good team. You can't pretend they're not. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the Uncle Charlie, down and in. Swinging through that one was Moniak. The count is 0-2. Steven Rissler with the $2 super. Let's go Cards. And you go, Steven Rissler. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated. The Louisville Redbirds. All right. He sets at the Birds. Setting up inside is Crooks. The 0-2. A curveball bounced out in front of home plate. Blocked very well there by Crooks. Runner stays right there at first. The count is 1-2. Everybody that has left Super Chats throughout this year since I've been able to begin accepting them, I cannot thank you all enough. Moniak is in the saddle. Coming set at the Birds is Leahy. The 1-2 offering. Swinging strike 3. Down Hackett goes Moniak for the second out of the inning. I can assure you, when it comes to most Cubs fans, many that I have known, they're a little too concerned with themselves to even compare themselves with the outside world at times. Now, here is the catcher, the righty hitting Goodman. He's 0 for 2. Righty-righty matchup, the pitch. Four-seam fastball away, rule the ball. The count is 1-0. When I grew up, Cardinals games were on Channel 5. Yeah. That's something that does bug me. The lack of them on TV. The 1-0. Strike, sinker down Broadway below the belt. The count is 1-1, which is interesting because in its own way, because it has obviously opened an opportunity for me to do this, albeit in the wake of the absence. The 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the Uncle Charlie downstairs. Swinging over the top of that one was Goodman. The count is 0-2. At 73 and fully retired, I can't super chat, but wish I could. You deserve it. Hey, don't worry about it, Jimmy Otero. You're here game after game. You put so much into the chat. You're a pleasure to have around. That's what matters to me. Next pitch is Leahy's 82nd and 4 2/3. Throws over to first. Back in time with a head first slide is the runner. Count remains 1-2. Yeah, wasn't there something going on between Harry Carey and Augie Busch's daughter? Now, the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Sweeper on the inside corner at the knees. For the third and final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, a fielder's choice, and 1 left on. After 4.5 innings of play, it is 3-2 Redbirds going to the bottom of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go back to that chat. Now, what's going on here? Justin, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, thank you. Thank you, Justin. I cannot thank you enough for it. How many strikeouts does Kyle Leahy have? A very fine question. In 5 innings pitched, Kyle Leahy has 8 strikeouts tonight. I know. Well, oh, that is for Jimmy Otero. Okay. Oh, man. Not going to find a better guy than Justin Beasley out there. Well, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Wasn't there something between Harry Carey and Augie Busch's daughter knocking boots or something like that? I mean, I could be wrong. It might have expedited his way out of St. Louis. I don't know. Do you know, Justin? I don't know. Oh, you haven't? Yeah, I heard that one back in college from a professor. He saw me go in. It was his wife. Oh, my God. All right. Well, that ends the conversation on that. Here comes J.J. Weatherall. J.J. is 0 for 1 with a walk. Ground out in his first at-bat. Walked in his second plate appearance. Yeah. Now, this is not anything new to any long-term Redbird fans out there. I'm sure they've heard this before. Feltner's out there for his fifth frame. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Weatherall. Strike, curveball on the inner third below the knees. The count is 0-1. 64 pitches so far for Feltner. He comes wide. He deals. Foul down the third baseline and out of play. The count is 0-2. So here's something interesting. J.J. Weatherall was doing one of these like promo walk through South Central Park interviews with Danny Wexelman from Cardinals.tv before the last game of the series. The 0-2 pitch. A four-seam fastball just misses the inside corner. It's ruled a ball. The count is 1-2. And they were walking around one of the pond areas that they have out there. And, Central Park is nice. Just don't go there at night. Now, the 1-2 pitch. Just gets a piece of that changeup down and in. Rolls behind all the way to the backstop. The count is 1-2. And she kept trying to get him. And this is a kid from West Virginia, right? He's a huge into big bass fishing. And she was just struggling to get him to say just one nice bit of word about the natural beauty in Central Park. And she could just barely squeeze it out of him. I mean, it was really funny. It was also really awkward. The 1-2. Hit on up the middle. Picked up there by the shortstop right on second. He throws to first in time to get Weatherall. So Weatherall grounds out 6-3 for the first out. And he's just looking out there, and he's like, yeah, but you can tell it's an artificial pond. Like, when I look out there, I can't see anywhere, like, where the bass would be hiding or anything like that. I'm like, you can put him in the big city, but you can't put the big city in him. And good for him. New York is definitely not for everybody. Here is Jordan Walker. He's 0 for 2, the first pitch. Strike, slider on the outside corner above the knees. The count is 0-1. 100 likes. Thank you all so much, everybody. I don't know how many games in a row that is now. The 0-1. Hit out there to the left side. Picked up by the third baseman who boots it. And Jordan Walker will be safe at first. A difficult play having to go far to his left there at third base. Admittedly, he could not get a handle on the thing. Just died there on the infield dirt. And the Cardinals have a runner on first. I don't know how they're going to rule that. That might be an error, honestly. I think that is going to be the way they're going to go. So I'm thinking he's reaching there. He also broke his bat off at the handle. That's a thing. So he reaches on the E5, I think. And here comes Alec Burleson. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. It's the reason he ended up doing WGM games for the Cubs. Yeah, I knew I was the only person out there who had heard this before. 70 pitches so far for Feltner. Ah, true enough, Justin. True enough. Now, from the stretch, runner on first with one out. Here's the pitch. A slider up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Burleson is 0 for 1 with a walk. Walked in his first plate appearance, fouled out in his second at-bat. Rather, his first at-bat. The pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup, down and in. Swinging over the top of that one was Burleson from Feltner. The count is, well, it should be 1-2, I thought. Yep, 1-2. Feltner sets the pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down Broadway. Apparently that was the 1-1. MLB was ahead of me on that. My apologies. That's on me. The count is 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch. Foul tipped and rolls over to the Cardinal on deck circle. Oh boy, that's a question. Well, I guess which one are you referring to, Hodag? Are you talking about the last one? Because that last one hasn't come down in the same area code. I think that landed in the Long Island Sound. The 1-2 pitch. A four-seam fastball well upstairs and out of the zone. The count is even at 2-2. Go after the late Ted Kennedy. I'm on board for that. He earned it. Coming set is Feltner. Back into the saddle is Alec Burleson. He sets the 2-2 pitch. A curveball away and out of the zone. The count is 3-2. 76 pitches so far for Feltner in 4 1/3. Runner on first with one out. Bottom of the fifth inning. It is a 3-2 Redbird lead. Now he sets from the stretch. The 3-2. Hit foul down the first baseline on the changeup in. The best, Richard. Surely not the best of the bunch. Alec Burleson with runners on, 336, 7 home runs, 66 RBIs, and 23 extra base hits. Feltner sets at the letters. The 3-2 pitch. Hit to the right side. Picked up by the first baseman. Takes the bag himself for the second out of the inning. Moving from first to second on the play is Jordan Walker. So the Cardinals have a runner on second with 2 out. Here is Ivan Herrera, last at bat, solo home run to left. Definitely got all of that one. A 28-degree launch angle, a 76-foot high apogee, 379 feet. Righty-righty matchup. Stepping off the rubber there is Feltner. Now the first pitch. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. It's been a number of games here. I think the last time Ivan Herrera was hit was on July 24th. So he's got himself a little bit of a streak going here. His old number 48. Now the 1-0. Foul down the first base side and out of play. The count is 1-1. Pritzker is a name that is very heavily synonymous both with Illinois and Chicago. Though I must say the Pritzker Military Library and Museum is very good. The 1-1 pitch. Foul tipped on the sinker in. The count is 1-2 to Ivan Herrera from Feltner. Oh, the Expos. If I could have one team back, Richard Talley. No. He is not out. He is back in the lineup for the first time since Monday night. Back into the saddle is Herrera. Runner leads off second. Feltner sets at the letters. The 1-2 to Herrera. Swinging strike 3 of the four-seam fastball upstairs for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits. No walks, 1 reach by error, and 1 left on. After 5 full innings of play, it is 3-2 Redbirds going top of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. I missed them, but not that stadium. Yeah, the difference between the two of them is that stadium is still sitting there, Richard. They haven't gotten rid of the thing yet. Oh, really? Why is that, Richard? I'm curious. I mean, I know you have to call it Rogers Center now, but I always still call it Skydome. I've always thought Skydome was kind of cool. All right, due up for the ROX in the top of the 6th inning. Rumfield, Castro, and Tovar. 5, 6, and 7 in the ROX order. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead headed to the top of the 6th inning. And they're going to be going to the left-hander, Justin Brule. The 29-year-old left-hander this year for St. Louis in 50 games, a 0-0 record, a 3.60 ERA, 55 innings pitched exactly, 39 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.40 for Justin Brule. He was getting hot back in the top of the 5th inning himself. Yeah, he will face the left-hander TJ Rumfield. And then they will face the switch-hitting Castro, who will presumably be hitting right. Kyle Leahy, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 8 strikeouts. Had a fine night. He can win it. He cannot lose it. Here's Justin Brule. Gave you his numbers just a moment ago. Lefty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. Strike, sinker on the inside quarter, whispers over the black thigh high. The count is 0-1. The pitching tonight is brought to you by Red Bull. Red Bull, it gives you wings. There you are. The 0-1 pitch. A sinker away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. I believe the exact number, Brother Joe, is 45. I think they're at 45 right now. Now, the 1-1 pitch. A sweeper down and away and rule the ball. The count is 2-1. TJ Rumfield, a single and a single. He's 2 for 2. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. 3-2 Cardinals. And the 2-1 pitch. Hit down the right field line, and it just slices foul. It was cruising down the line. The sheer willpower of Jordan Walker out and right just pushed it forward with his telekinesis, which I assume he has, though he doesn't always show it. You know, throw off us normies. And the count is 2-2. Let's go Cards from Texas. Welcome aboard, Kokoda. Back into the box is Rumfield. Coming set is Brule. And the 2-2 offering. Hit foul down the third baseline and out of play. Good evening, chat. Please like the stream. Also subscribe. We would love to have you as part of our community. We're a fun bunch, so please join us. 100%. Brule comes set above the belt. The 2-2 to Rumfield. Hit to the right side. Picked up on the ground by Weatherall to his left. He throws to first in time. So Rumfield grounds out 4-3 for the first out here in the top of the 6th inning. A great many things, Brother Joe. It is a state that I am happy to say I've spent quite a bit of time in my life. Never lived there, but I've spent a lot of time there. Now, here is Castro. Lefty-righty matchup. Switch hitter hitting right. Here's the pitch. A sweeper strike. Outside corner. The count is 0-1. A single and a double for Willie Castro. Nobody on with 1 out. Top of the 6th inning. 3-2 Redbirds. The 0-1 pitch. Hit to the left side. Picked up there at third. He throws to first in time for the second out of the inning. So Willie Castro grounds out 5-3 for the second out. Cesar Prieto's most certainly holding his own down there defensively. Now, here is the righty hitting shortstop Tovar. He's 0 for 2. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play on the sinker in. The count is 0-1. Brule is back onto the bump. He comes set above the belt. The 0-1. Hit to the left side, picked up by Prieto on a hop, charging in. He throws to first in time for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 5.5 innings of play, it is 3-2 Cardinals going to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 3-2 Redbirds going bottom of 6. Let's go back to that chat. All right. I always thought that Jose Oquendo would have made a great manager. You might be right, Harold. Made a great third base coach. Wow. Is Tony in his early 80s now? I know the last time he tried to manage on the south side of Chicago, I think it was like last time I remember that happening, 2022. It did not go well. In fact, it went historically bad. Tony is 81. He is 81. I'm not at all surprised that he didn't leave baseball as soon as he was done with the Cardinals in 2011. But it's like, okay, special advisor in Arizona, and then you know, the scrubs on the south side of Chicago in 22, I think maybe 23 as well. It's like, what are you doing, Tony? Oh, I'm glad you're digging it, Scott. We've definitely bounced around in terms of topics. All right. You should have stayed retired. Yeah, pretty much. But, you know, a guy like Tony La Russa, I mean, in some ways, he kind of aged out of the game because he stopped really being able to relate to his players. And, you know, if he was going to manage again, it really should have just been like sometime in the mid-2010s. Otherwise, now, you know, he's basically 2 generations, you know, beyond the players he was managing for the White Sox. Now, the first pitch from Feltner to Crooks. Strike, curveball on the inner third at the knees. The count is 0-1. It's a 3-2 Cardinal lead. Bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody on, nobody out. Jimmy Crooks is 1 for 2. A bloop single and the strikeout. The pitch. A changeup down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Correction, he fouled out in his last at-bat. He did not strike out. But he did have that bloop single in his first at-bat back in the second. The 1-1 from Feltner. A fly ball out to left field. All 3 of them tonight have been out towards left. Underneath it is the left fielder, Moniak, for the first out of the inning. So Feltner has really settled down here. That was his 85th pitch in 5 1/3 inning of work. At present, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and the home run allowed. Now here's Mason Wynn, who's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. A sweeper strike on the outer third, thigh high. The count is 0-1. Mason Wynn, that double, and the ground out. He also scored on the sacrifice fly. The 0-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-1. Oh, that's an easy answer. Now, here's the pitch. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Yeah. Bo Schlosser beat me to it. Yadier Molina, definitely. It really all comes down to just how much of a strong hand does Chaim Bloom have on the manager every day. And I don't feel like Yadier Molina takes orders very well. The 2-1 pitch. A curveball upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 3-1. Not in an insubordinate way, But I don't think he would necessarily appreciate the lineup being handed down to him from the front office, is more the point I'm making. Now, the 3-1 pitch. Pop foul on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 3-2. 100%, Justin, 100%. That guy was a born manager. I mean, he was a manager on the field anyway. It's just he gets to take over the rest of the team as well. Winding is Feltner, the 3-2 to win. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball upstairs. So Mason Wynn works a one-out walk here in the bottom of the 6th. Yeah, baseball runs deep with that one, Joe. Yeah, absolutely. And we have ourselves a little visit to the mound. 91 pitches for Feltner. This might be it for him tonight. And indeed it is. Bernardino is coming in. Let me get you the numbers on him once I have them. All right. Brennan Bernardino, the 34-year-old left-hander for Colorado. 53 games this year, a 3-3 record with a 2.54 ERA, 46 innings pitched, 34 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.17. He will come in and face, I believe, Nate Church. So it'll be a lefty-lefty matchup, followed by the lefty Torres, and then the lefty Prieto, and then the lefty Weatherall. So definitely susceptible to the left-hander. This pitching change is brought to you by Panera Bread. Go visit Jeff at Mid-Rivers Mall. Jeff couldn't be with us tonight. He's making French bread right now. Yeah. Off of Veterans Memorial Parkway and I-70 in St. Peters. So we wait for this pitching change. Bernardino, the left-hander, will be in to face the lefty Nate Church. Nate Church, 0 for 1 with the RBI and the strikeout. Harold Houseman with the $1 super. Thank you so much, Harold. That's really generous, and I do appreciate it, and it does help. In Jeff's honor. Yeah, exactly. There you go, Harold. Filling in the presents. All right, here is Bernardino. Gave you his numbers just a moment ago. Molina versus Brandon Phillips. The fight that none of us can possibly forget if we were alive to see it. I know not everybody in the audience is, or they were far too young. Throwing over to first with a snap throw is Bernardino. Back in time with the head first slide is Mason Wynn. Now, Bernardino, the lefty, comes set. The southpaw deals. Strike, sinker on the inner third above the knees. The count is 0-1. That sinker came in at 89 miles an hour. The left-handed Bernardino. Love the 4-syllable name, by the way. Throwing over to first with a snap throw. Back just in time with the head first slide is Mason Wynn. He is paying attention over there. Bernardino has a snap move. Bernardino is back onto the rubber. He sets at the belt. Runner leads off first. Mason Wynn bluffs. Here's the pitch. A cutter down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. I think that's unlikely, Ethan. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it's unlikely. Now, there goes Mason Wynn. Here's the pitch. Here's the throw. There is no throw, so Mason Wynn takes second uncontested. The pitch is a ball, and it is now a 2-1 count. Mason Wynn with the stolen base with one out. He has put himself in scoring position, and he picked a heck of a pitch to go on. All right, and the next pitch to Nate Church. A breaking ball inside, ruled a ball. The count is 3-1. Infield defense slightly shaded towards right. Cummins sets Bernardino, the 3-1. Ball 4 on the sinker, down and in, so Nate Church works a one-out walk. And the Cardinals have runners on first and second with one out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. It is a 3-2 Redbird lead. Now here comes Jose Fermin. He is going to pinch hit for Brian Torres. Runners lead. Infield defense is playing up. In the corners about even with the bag. Middle infielders playing slightly back but definitely shaded at double play depth with one out. So here is Jose Fermin for Brian Torres. He will face the left-hander Bernardino. Breaking up these left-handers is Ollie Marmol here. David Hodge. Paul, how are you doing tonight? I can't complain, David. How are you? Yeah, I know how you feel, Kokoda. You're never the same after you have an all-time great in living memory. Now the first pitch to Fermin. Strike, curveball on the outer third above the knees to Jose Fermin. Pinch hitting here for Brian Torres. The count is 0-1, which means presumably Fermin will be going into left field. Bernardino comes set. The southpaw deals. Strike, curveball on the inside quarter at the knees. The count is 0-2. Runners on first and second with one out. It's the bottom of the sixth inning. 3-2 Cardinals and an 0-2 count to Jose Fermin. The lefty Bernardino comes set and deals. There goes the runner. Mason Wynn toward third. Here's the play, and he is safe at third with the steal, and it is a double steal, and the Cardinals have runners on No, it was a double steal. Runners on second and third with one out. The pitch is a ball, so it's a 1-2 count. Oh, boy, that was a play right there, folks. Mason Wynn and his base running lately has been very good. And the way he avoided that tag, the throw got there first. And he did a hook tag around it, avoiding the tag on the chest. Got his hand in there. He is safe at third. Nate Church is safe at second. He was right behind him. A double steal. Now the 1-2. A curveball inside, ruled the ball. The count is 2-2. So the Rockies infielders are playing up against the grass, slightly shorted towards left with the righty Fermin. The pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup away for the second out of the inning. So Bernardino gets Jose Fermin hacking. Now, due up here is Prieto, who's going to be pinch hit here for Blaze Jordan. So, another lefty-righty matchup. On deck is J.J. Weatherall. I believe Blaze Jordan got 7 hits on that most recent two-city road trip over 6 games. All right, what do we got going on here? All right, Rockies pitching coach and Bernardino and Goodman behind the plate, having a brief word there with Bernardino. But runners on second and third with 2 out. Bottom of the sixth inning. It's a 3-2 Cardinal lead. Oh, you got it, ZZ Captain Mastiff. I'm happy to do it. This really is my pleasure. I take a great deal of enjoyment doing this. But I can assure you, it's the folks that I have met along the way that have made it special. All right. Bernardino is back onto the bump. He looks in towards Blaze Jordan. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Runners on second and third with 2 out the first pitch. A curveball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Came in at 78 miles an hour. The left-handed Bernardino. 8 for 24 with runners in scoring position and 2 out this season for the Rook Blaze Jordan. He will replace Prieto defensively at third in the top of the 7th. Bernardino sets the 1-0. Strike, curveball on the outer third, thigh high. The count is 1-1. Hey, Max, how's it going? Jimmy Hergay, the right-hander, or Herget, I don't know. Getting hot for the ROX. Here's the pitch. Fouled down the first base side and out of play on the sinker up and into Blaze Jordan. The count is 1-2. 13 pitches so far for Bernardino. Runners lead off second and third. It's a 1-2 count. Bernardino comes set, the 1-2. And he plunked Blaze Jordan on the right shin, so now the bases are loaded. The pond is full of ducks, Thurman. The pond is full of ducks for the lefty, J.J. Weatherall. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 out. Here is J.J. Weatherall. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. J.J. is 0 for 2 with a walk. A couple of ground outs. Now the first pitch to Weatherall. Strike, sinker on the inner third above the knees. The count is 0-1. Back into the saddle is Weatherall. The southpaw Bernardino steps off the rubber, so we get to wait a little longer for the 0-1 offering. He sets above the belt. The 0-1 pitch. A cutter away ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Infield defense slightly shaded towards right. With the bases juiced, the 1-1. Hit foul down the left field line and out of play on the sinker up and into Weatherall. The count is 1-2. So JJ's in the hole 1-2 here with the bases loaded and 2 out. Bottom of the 6th inning is a 3-2 Redbird lead. Next pitch is going to be Bernardino's 18th. He sets above the belt. The 1-2. And there is a bloop into foul territory left of third. Giving chase is the third baseman. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. So no runs and the bases are left loaded. We go to the top of the 7th inning. It is a 3-2 Cardinal lead. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. A lost opportunity there, no question. No question. Due up for the ROX in the top of the 7th inning. Johnston, Julian, and McCarthy. McCarthy, 3 for 3. So, that's baseball, Susan. Now, the question is, what do you do with Brule? Well, it would make sense that he'd face the lefty Troy Johnston and the lefty Julian and the lefty McCarthy. I'll bet you in all likelihood either him or Craig Ferguson, not the really good Craig Ferguson, not the comedian. No, the one they picked up from Cincinnati for $250,000 in international signing pool money. Yeah, the Ducks are pissed, Joe. So we await the top of the 7th inning. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead. Okay. Well, one way or another, I mean, it makes sense to send either Brule out there or Ferguson for the 7th. Just because you have that cacophony. There's your $10 word for the night. Cacophony of left-handers due up. Oh, boy. Well, here's good news for everybody. So, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, there's not going to be a stream tomorrow. I couldn't find a way to schedule a flight around it that didn't interfere. But this is not necessarily bad news, because you know who's starting tomorrow? Matthew Liberatore. You want to know who's doing really well when I don't call his games? Matthew Liberatore. The first pitch. Strike. Outside corner below the belt from Ferguson. The count is 0-1. 26 and a third. 3.76 ERA. A 1.44 whip for Caleb Ferguson, not Craig. I always want to call him Craig. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the slurve inside. The count is 0-2. And the pinch hitter, the righty Karros here, is facing the lefty Ferguson. Kyle Karros in 107 games, 271, 9 home runs, 41 RBIs. It's an 0-2 count. Now the 0-2 pitch. A slurve bounced out in front of home plate. It's a ball. The count is 1-2. Oh, yeah. Roger. Yeah, absolutely. Ferguson comes set. The 1-2. A sinker up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. But yeah, I'm giving Matthew Liberatore the good karma going into tomorrow, not calling his game. Not intentional, just kind of how it works out. Now, the 2-2 pitch. Fouled down the first base side out of play on the cutter up and away. The count is 2-2. Though I must say that Conan O'Brien, back when he was doing Late Night with Conan O'Brien on NBC after Leno, he was really good in those years, especially after the first couple seasons. Here's the pitch. A cutter down and in and out of the zone. The count is 3-2. Coming set at the Birds is Ferguson. The 3-2 pitch. Hit out there to right field. Going over to his right is Jordan Walker. A couple steps. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Ferguson comes in. Gets the first bat off for the first out. And we have ourselves another pinch hitter. Jordan Beck, the 25-year-old right-hander. 89 at-bats, hitting 191. A home run, 10 RBIs. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Hit to the left side and into left center field for a base hit. Picked up there by Nate Church, who tossed it back in. Staying right there at first is Jordan Beck. So he has himself a one-out single to left center field. And the ROX have a runner on first with one out here in the top of the 7th inning. It is a 3-2 Cardinal lead. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I'll explain later. Now, here's the lefty McCarthy. Here's the pitch. A sinker away, ruled the ball. The count is 1-0. Lefty-lefty matchup. McCarthy is 3 for 3 with a double to lead off the game and a couple of singles, one of them very much of the infield variety. He comes set. Runner leads off first with one out. Ferguson deals. A sinker upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Jake McCarthy. Man, that kid can fly. Not a kid, he's 29 years old, but still. Coming set is Ferguson, the 2-0 pitch. Swinging strike on the cutter away. The count is 2-1. No, he came from the Reds. Came from the Reds. Well, that was really good. That's probably the best known thing he ever did, Jimmy, no question. Ferguson sets, runner leads. It's a 2-1 count with 1 out. He deals. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play. The count is 2-2. I really like, and this might be dating you, Jimmy, I don't know. I really like in the year 2000, in like 98, 99, and I think Triumph also got his start there because, Schmeigel obviously controls him. He's not the only one who writes for him. Cummins set. The 2-2 pitch. Hit down the right field line, and it goes foul. Just slicing to the right of the right field line. And then there's the one with the, where they would take a public figure, most notably Bill Clinton at the time, and they'd have the cut out of the mouth, and it would just be Schmeigel going back and forth with him. That was good. I enjoyed that a lot. That may be dating me for some. Now, the 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the sinker upstairs for the second out of the inning. Oh, yeah. They finally get McCarthy going down hacking. Cutter upstairs from Ferguson. La Bamba was good, too. I forgot about that, Jimmy. Okay, so you and I are probably pretty similar in age. I remember just being up during summers during middle school and high school. And here's the pitch. Four-seam fastball upstairs here to Carrick. The count is 1-0. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Runner on first with 2 out. Top of the 7th inning. It's a 3-2 Cardinal lead. Cole Carrick, a strikeout, a ground out into a double play, reached on the fielder's choice. Ferguson sets at the Birds. The 1-0. Strike, cutter on the outer, third at the knees. The count is 1-1. I'm glad to hear we're of the same age, Jimmy. That's great. It's good to know they're out there. Here's the pitch. A sinker up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. You got 13 years on me, Richard Talley. Yes, they do, Brother Joe, as I have mentioned before. The 2-pound pitch. Fouled back. Giving chase there is Jimmy Crooks, but it goes into the stands behind the Cardinal dugout into the first row. The count is 2-2. Oh, yeah, no, it's straight up plagiarism. But it's found a new home here. Cards fans since '89. Cheers to that, Kokoda. Now, coming set is Ferguson. He deals. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes. Carrick on the pitch. Down and in. For the third and final out of the inning. No runs and 1 left on. It is 7th inning stretch time down at Busch Stadium on the mighty banks of the western Mississippi. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. 3-2 Cardinals going bottom of 7. Let's go back to that chat. Okay. Braylon Beasley with the $5 super chat. This 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Red Bull. It gives you wings. Well, it certainly does for me, Braylon. And I thank you very much. Oh, boy. People are breaking out into take me out in the ball game in the chat. Here we go. Here we go, folks. No, he isn't bad at all. Quite refreshing. Quite refreshing. And it's so nice to know that they have more than just the original flavor, which I could very charitably, and I do mean charitably, call bubblegum-ish. I think we can think of another thing it might taste like. All right, due up in the bottom of the 7th inning is Jordan Alexander Walker, Alec Burleson, and Ivan Herrera. Jordan Walker is 1 for 3. Okay, so they gave him the hit on that. They didn't take the error. Burleson is 0 for 2 with a walk, and Herrera is 1 for 3 with that solo home run, which is turning out to be the difference in this game right here. And the ROX, it looks like they're going to the pen here. Give you the numbers here. On Jimmy Harrigan, or Harrigay, I don't know precisely how it's pronounced, folks. 32 games this year. He's 0-4 with a 6.82 ERA. 30 and a third innings pitch. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Slider strike down Broadway. The count is 0-1. 30 and a third innings pitched. 32 strikeouts in that span, so over a strikeout an inning, and a 1.75 whip. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the sweeper well outside. The count is 0-2. Braylon Beasley with the 150 super chat. Thank you, Braylon. Had a little more in the account. You're very generous, my man. The 0-2. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead here at the bottom of the 7th inning. Nobody on, nobody out. I don't know if the T is silent. The 1-2. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. Hit down the right field line. Charging towards the line is the right fielder, but it falls into foul territory. The count remains 2-2. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, it's actually pronounced Harriget. All right. I'm down with that. He winds the 2-2. And he pops him up behind second base into shallow right field near the line. Underneath it is the first baseman to make the catch for the first out of the inning. I think I'm going to leave that tab right there. French, difference between Huguenot and Huguenot. Now, here is Alec Burleson. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. And here's the pitch. He puts down a bunt, and he bunts it foul. It's picked up by Goodman in foul territory, just a little bit down the first base line, just short of home, and the count is 0-1. And you have to ask yourself, Alec, what are you doing? I get it. You're trying to catch them on their feet. That's great. But seriously, that's not what you're being underpaid for. Come on. You're killing me, guy. Now, he wants. Harrigan deals. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Burleson, a walk, a foul out, and a ground out. And they are switching up the baseball, so Burleson steps out of the saddle. Herget comes one. Herget deals. There's a fly ball down the left field line and into the stands on the changeup away. The count is 1-2. Oh, let's see. for a .286 average, 18 home runs, 77 RBIs in the first week of August. That's what's for. He winds the 1-2 pitch. Swinging strike three on the four-seam fastball, up and away for the second out of the inning. Yeah, Burleson can be representative in terms of his leg, but he's no speedster. Now, here's Ivan Herrera, struck out in his last at-bat. Earlier on in the game, that solo home run to left is the difference in this game. 3-1 lead at the time. It's become 3-2 since. The first pitch to Herrera. A sinker away and out of the zone from Herget. The count is 1-0. Herget winds the 1-0 pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. So here's the interesting thing. Is who's the next guy to get an extension? I'm curious what you guys think on that. The 2-0 pitch. Strike. Slider on the outside corner. Whispers over the black at the knees. The count is 2-1. Because I know there are thoughts out there. There are definitely thoughts. The 2-1. Strike. Sweeper down Broadway. A check swing there by Herrera, but it's a called strike, and the count is 2-2. Okay, Harold. Herget winds the 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike three on the sweeper away for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 7 full innings of play, it is a 3-2 Redbird lead going to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D, and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, you haven't already done so, but you feel I've earned it, please do leave a like. It does wonders for this channel. It has the algorithm, push it out there to more Cardinal fans and baseball fans more generally. We're actually a pretty diverse bunch of fans here, predominantly Cardinals, but we have our notables, to say the least, and they have definitely distinguished themselves in the best way. And you'll have my eternal gratitude, to say the least. And if you're not already subscribed, it's your first time here, or you've been back multiple times, and you're not already subscribed, well, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, 3-2 Redbirds going to the top of the 8th. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Walker or Burley? Okay. I'm going to surprise you. Andre Palante. Oh, that is an original answer. Yeah, he does seem like he's pressing, David. I completely concur. He just hasn't been fully right since after the home run derby. Due up for the ROX in the top of the 8th. Moniak, Goodman, and Rumfield. Who's wearing extensions? A good question, Roger. I would sure love to know. But I'm too much of a gentleman to ask directly. All right. So, we have a pinch hitter here for Moniak in the person of Freeman. The first pitch for Ferguson. Strike, outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. 20 pitches so far for Ferguson. Tyler Freeman, 27-year-old right-handed hitter. The 0-1. A four-seamer up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Hitting in 252 at-bats, hitting 253 home runs, 23 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, a 637 OPS in 77 games. The 1-1. A slurve down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Oh, everybody begin to clench. Ryan Stanek getting hot down there in the pen. Looking in is Ferguson. He sets at the Birds. The 2-1 offering. Foul down the third baseline and out of play on the cutter in. The count is 2-2. You go with Wynn. Interesting. Okay. Ferguson looks in. He sets. He deals. There's a fly ball out into center field. Coming in a few steps is Church. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Tyler Freeman in pinch hitting duty for Moniak there. Flies out to center for the first out here in the top of the 8th. And here is Ollie Marmol. He is going to the right-hander, Ryan Stanek. Stanek panic. Here we go, folks. It's on. Ryan Stanek in 50 games this year for the 35-year-old right-hander. He's 2-2 with a 4.63 ERA, 44 2/3 innings pitched, 49 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.50. Stanek panic. Yeah, just watching the chat light up there. I say it just purely his name. Oh, that's a little harsh, Harold. I mean, he does have one very powerful blonde mullet. I will give him that. Make of that what you will, but I wouldn't really care one way or another, just so long as he didn't have to take us on this constant roller coaster ride where half the time we come away as if we accidentally put our hand on a in-use burner on the stovetop. Oh, I sure hope so, Trent Fable. I mean, they have a lot of good defensive chemistry together. They're fun to watch. They really are. And they both have quite a bit of range. They're very sure. They're excellent. All right, we're back here for the top of the 8th. Ryan Stanek gave you his numbers just a moment ago. Old number 5-5 for the Redbirds. Stanek comes set. He will face the righty Goodman. Here's the pitch. A slider up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Nobody on with one out. Top of the 8th inning. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead. Stanek comes set and deals. Hit to the left side. Picked up there on a hop. A dive to his left by Wynn. He throws to first. Gets Goodman going down the line for the second out of the inning. He gets Goodman by a step flying down the line, who grounds out 6-3 for the second out. And Wynn right there, showing off that defense and that arm. I mean, he has such a cannon. I believe he was drafted initially as a two-way player, so you can see it. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball up and into the lefty Rumfield, and the count is 0-1. Rumfield is 2 for 3 tonight. Nobody on with 2 out. Top of the 8th inning. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead. Stanek is in. He comes set. The pitch. Chop foul down the first baseline and out of play, and the count is 0-2 strikes. TJ Rumfeld at first base, a couple of singles and a ground out. Stanek has him in the hole, 0-2 strikes. Stanek sets and deals. Pop foul behind home plate and out of play on the four-seam fastball up and into the left-hander. The count is 0-2. Stanek is back on the bump. Brand new father, too. The 0-2 pitch. Hit out there into left field, and it falls in front of Jose Fermin, who has to play it on a hop. So, a single to left with 2 out by Rumfield. And the ROX have a runner on first with 2 out here in the top of the 8th inning. And I think they might have a pinch runner here. Let's see. Yes, indeed. Brett Sullivan, the 32-year-old catcher, going in there. Pinch runner at first for Rumfield, so he's out of the game. Now here's Willie Castro, runner on first with 2 out. Righty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. Swinging strike on the splitter away. The count is 0-1. That splitter came in at 90 miles an hour. Willie Castro, a single, a double, and a ground out. He's 2 for 3. He's had a very fine night. Sullivan leads off first. Here's the pitch. A splitter down and away. Blocked very well there by Jimmy Crooks. The count is 1-1. Well, thank you so much, Russell. I really appreciate that. Really, I mean, you guys are just so encouraging. It's very gratifying, to say the least. Stanek sets the 1-1. A 4-seam fastball in, jackknifing out of the way. There is Willie Castro. The count is 2-1. That thing was going right for his kneecaps originally. Runner on first with 2 out, top of the 8th inning. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead and a 2-1 count here to Willie Castro. Coming set is Stanek. Stanek deals. And there's a pop-up on the left side of the infield. Underneath it is Mason Wynn. He makes the catch for the 3rd and final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no walks, 1 left on. After 7.5 innings of play, it is 3-2 Redbirds going to the bottom of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go back to that chat. Attaboy indeed, Harold. Stanek definitely delivered. Which means with a 1-run lead going to the top of the 9th, we all know who's going to be coming in there. It's going to be Riley O'Brien, no question. Bobby, now let's get some insurance runs. Now that's insurance I am willing to pay for. Yeah, Rocky was flying there. Due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jimmy Crooks, Mason Wynn, and Nate Church. 5, 6, 7 in the Cardinal order. You sure did, Brother Joe. And, you know, we ribbed Stanek here because, you know, he's done us dirty more than a few times. Not that he's been trying to, obviously. But, you know, he can be a little difficult at times. He takes you through such a roller coaster in certain innings. An insurance run is where it's at, ZZ Captain Mastiff. O'Brien time, say when. Top of the 9th in all likelihood. As far as I know, he's available after the off day. Pitched on Wednesday night. Actually, in fact, that's the only game he pitched in that series, so he's plenty fresh. All right, we're back here for the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-2 Redbirds. Crooks, Wynn, and Church. 5, 6, 7 in the Redbird order. And a new pitcher here for the Rockies. 27-year-old right-hander Nick Frasso. Looks like he just got called up. This is his 2nd game in the big leagues. He's 0-1 with a 9 ERA. An inning pitch, no strikeouts. The first pitch, fouled straight back on the 4-seam fastball upstairs. 96 miles an hour out of the right hand of Frasso. The count is 0-1. Yeah, he got the loss on Tuesday against the Rays. Frasso comes set. It's a righty-lefty matchup. The 0-1 to Crooks. A cutter down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Jimmy Crooks is 1 for 3 tonight. Had that bloop single. Scored one of the 3 Cardinal runs. The 1-1. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 1-2 to Jimmy Crooks. Ryan Stanek, in some ways, is kind of like a human cartoon character. Just very eccentric. The 1-2. Check swing, strike 3 on the changeup, down and away for the first out of the inning. So the regular forward K there for Jimmy Crooks for the first out. Here's Mason Witt. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. You know, what it reminds me of is Randy Johnson's mullet in 95. My dad, not like a huge sports guy, but he saw him pitch in the 95 ALDS against the Yankees. The first pitch against Wynn. Strike down Broadway with the four-seam fastball. The count is 0-1 from Frasso. And ever since that point in time, every time the Yankees would play the Mariners, and this is a guy who never watched baseball outside of like the postseason, the World Series, asked like, are they going to have to face that cartoon character with Seattle? Never left me. The 0-1 pitch. A slider away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Frasso sets the 1-1 pitch. And there is a fly ball into shallow right field near the line. Underneath it is the right fielder. He makes the catch in foul territory for the second out of the inning. That was picked up out there by Freeman for the second out. Stepping into the box is Nate Church. Righty-lefty matchup. Nate Church is actually 0 for 1, interestingly enough. And the first pitch. Foul down the left field line and out of play on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 0-1. Nobody on with 2 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead. Frasso sets. Frasso deals. Four-seam fastball fouled down the left field line, and the count is 0-2. As you can imagine, in the right center field bleachers right now, Tarps Off is having themselves a lot of fun. A nice hanging banner, "Take me to church." It works. Back onto the bump is Frasso. He comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the cheddar there, bum Frasso for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 8 full innings of play, it is a 3-2 Redbird lead going to the top of the 9th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's go back to that chat. Okay. Cinnamon in chili is a crime against nature. Okay. All right. So, as anticipated, Riley O'Brien will be entering this game for the Redbirds. He's going to try and nail down this 3-2 Redbird lead. He's a very streaky closer. Many of them are, admittedly. But him in particular, he's had spells this year where he's been great, and spells when he is not. The 31-year-old right-hander, 46 games, a 3-4 record, a 3.35 ERA, and 45 2/3 innings pitched, 48 strikeouts in that span and a whip of 1.18. For Riley O'Brien, 27 saves and 32 opportunities this year. That 27 came on Wednesday night against the Yankees. Nailed down that series win and the 3-1 lead at the time. Due up for the ROX in the top of the ninth inning is Tovar, Karros, and Beck. 7, 8, 9 in the ROX order. And we're back for the top of the ninth. Here we go, folks. Here is Tovar, the right-hander. Gave you the numbers on Riley O'Brien just a moment ago. Righty-righty matchup. Coming set is O'Brien. The first pitch. A sinker away, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. I think you mean Trevor Rosenthal, as I recall, Richard. He comes set. The 1-0. Swinging strike on the sweeper that actually goes over the lefty batter's box. Tovar did a real solid there for O'Brien. The count is 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the sweeper, down and away. Swinging over the top of that one was Tovar. The count is 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the ninth inning. It's a 3-2 Cardinal lead. Coming sets O'Brien. The 1-2 offering. A sweeper away and over the lefty batter's box. Laying off that time was Tovar. The count is even at 2-2. General Mott. Yes, with that Civil War beard of his. Coming sets O'Brien. The 2-2 pitch. A sinker on the outside corner, ruled a ball. Challenge there by Jimmy Crook. So ABS challenge incoming. Both teams have both of their ABS challenges remaining. Let's see here. I think it's a ball. Indeed it is. So the called ball is confirmed. The Cardinals lose one of their two remaining ABS challenges. That misses by 1.7 inches. And it's a 3-2 count. Coming sets O'Brien. He deals. Ball 4 on the sweeper away, so Tovar works a one-out walk. No, correction, a leadoff walk. The score bug just tricked me out there. My apologies. That was definitely a leadoff walk. Now here's the righty O'Brien. Back onto the bump. He will face the righty Karros, who's 0 for 1. Righty-righty matchup. Runner on first with nobody out. The first pitch. Strike. Sinker on the outside corner. Thigh high. The count is 0-1. Does anybody else remember the Dodger Eric Karros by chance? Runner leads off first. Coming sets O'Brien. The pitch. A sinker upstairs on the outer third, ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Okay, Harold. Tovar leads off first. It's a 1-1 count. Nobody on. The pitch. A sweeper down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. So Tovar at first represents the tying run for Colorado. O'Brien sets at the belt. The 2-1. Hit to the left side. Picked up by Benjamin on a hop. He throws the second one. On to first. A double play. A 6-4-3 double play for the first and second outs of the inning. And everybody at Busch Stadium gets onto their feet here for Beck, who pinch hit earlier for Julian. He steps into the box. Righty-righty matchup. 10 pitches so far for O'Brien. The first pitch. A sweeper down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Jordan Beck 90 at-bats, a 200 average exactly, 1 home run, 10 RBIs, righty-righty matchup, nobody on with 2 out, 3-2 Cardinal lead, top of the 9th, the pitch. A sinker away and ruled a ball. The count is 2-1. Correction, 2-0. Jordan Beck is 1 for 1 with a single. O'Brien sets at the belt and deals. Swinging strike on the sinker, down and away, and the count is 2-1. O'Brien looks into Crooks. He sets above the belt. He deals. Hit to the left side, picked up there at third by Blaze Jordan. He throws to first in time, and that's the final out of the game, and a 3-2 Cardinal lead over, and a 3-2 Cardinal win over the Rockies here in Game 1 of 3 in this 3-game weekend set. And you know what that means, folks. For the second game in a row, and for 4 of the last 5, here is the victory tune. Play your air guitar, folk. 3-2 Cardinals is your final. Game 1 of 3. All right, with that 3-2 Cardinal win here in the opener against Colorado, Kyle Leahy improves to 8-4 on the year. Ryan Feltner falls to 4-6. St. Louis Cardinals improve to 58-58, so they're back to 500 again. Colorado falls to 45-71 on the year. 3-2 Redbirds is your final. Once again, as I've mentioned several times in this broadcast, there will be no play-by-play stream tomorrow. Couldn't work it around the travel schedule, but I will be back on Sunday afternoon for the 1:15 p.m. Central Time first pitch from Busch in the third and final game of this series. I will be live here at 1:05 p.m. Central Time for the play-by-play live stream on Game Mike. So I'll be back on Sunday, 1:15 p.m. Central Time, scheduled first pitch at Busch for the conclusion. I will be live here on Game Mike at 1:05 p.m. Central Time. I hope to see you all there. And 3-2 Redbirds over Colorado is your final. See you all Sunday. Be well, Dwayne Smith. Jimmy Otero, you'll be missed tomorrow. I'll miss you guys too. And you, Jimmy, no doubt. Thank you so much, Roger. And of course, because I will be on the road starting Sunday for just under a week, it will be audio only. So for those of you who come in and say, hey, Paul, where's your face? It's a road trip for Paul D. And you know what that means. It's a radio experience. Don't miss it. It'll be fun. You're very welcome, Kokoda. Hodag, safe travels tomorrow, Paul. And be well, everyone. Until the next one, go Cardinals. Absolutely. Safe travels, Paul. Well, thank you, Richard Talley. And thank you so much, you, Richard Talley, and everyone for spending part of your Friday night with me here on Game Mike. 3-2 Redbirds over the ROX is your final. J.M. Jones. Good night, and may Providence smile kindly on you all. Well, thank you, J.M. Jones. That's very poetic, I must say. Good night, chat. I will see you Sunday afternoon. Stay cool. Absolutely. Roger Bassman. Great call, Paul D. Have a good night, chat. You be well. Jimmy. Good call, Paul. Thank you, Jimmy. Be well. All right, back to 500 it is. Harold Houseman. Yes, Paul, have a safe trip. Thank you so much. Paul Van Halen. That's one way of putting it. Jimmy Otero. Yeah, great job, Brother Paul. Well, thank you so much. J.M. Jones. Thanks, Paul and Jay Beasley. Love y'all. Richard. Best radio call in Hawaii. Very good. Roger Bassman. PTO approved. Roger, I think it's just TO approved, unfortunately. That's how it works here in the world of YouTube. But I appreciate the sentiment all the same, Roger. Thank you. This has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mike. 3-2 Redbirds over the ROX is the opener, is your final. I'll be back on Sunday afternoon for the 1:15 p.m. Central start time for Game 3 of this 3-game weekend set at Busch between the Rockies and the Cardinals. I'll be live here at 1:05 p.m. Central time for the play-by-play live stream on Game Mike. I'd like to thank you all so much. Be well. Bombers Game Mike over and out. Be well, both you and yours, wherever you may be watching or listening. 3-2 Redbirds is your final. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night. I'll see y'all on Sunday afternoon.